It's really my pleasure. Hi, everyone. My name is Tippy Missick, and I live in Massachusetts, USA. Shout out. I started wearing these patches back a year ago, February, and I was just blown away immediately at the difference in how I felt. But for me, the real important part of this whole story is back in 2005, I had liver failure from a surgery that went terribly wrong. And when you have liver failure, all your organs have a tendency to start to shut down. And reality was I was facing my deathbed. But being blessed as I was after 6 or 7 more open abdominal surgeries, I was able to recuperate and get back. But since then, my blood work had never been the same. My liver enzymes were always high. My kidney enzymes were high. My cholesterol was never below 350 since 2005. But since wearing the patches, I wear the Flow, Defend, Liberty, and Flow, Defend, Liberty, Flow, Defend. And there's one more, Peace. And since then, I went 3 weeks ago and had my blood work done, and my cholesterol is now 199. All my blood work is within the normal range, right smack dab in the middle of that green. And my doctor, who's been following me all these years, just couldn't believe it. She had to know what was going on, and she loves the patches for herself too.
Well, that's I just can't even imagine, having to go through something like that, and yeah, the liver is that's the cleaner, right? So,
Yes.
and when the surgery goes wrong and all those things, and here you are saying that, you haven't used any drugs.
No.
You've used these patches, and I mean, that's what we're, that's why we're doing this. We need people to know what this is doing for people. So I do truly appreciate you sharing your story. You're going to inspire a lot of people to, take a look at these and try them out for themselves. So thank you so much for jumping on.
Jim had recently been discharged from Loma Linda from a massive brain tumor removal that occupied the left side of his brain. We had gotten home and got a call from Kenny Gilmore, a friend of ours, who said that he had something that he felt that would help Jim a lot. So we went ahead and ordered the patches and received them. And the first night, I had put 2 patches on, no, 3, and Jim had put 5 patches on based on, the issues. And the next morning, we both had woke up and I wasn't feeling too hot. And Jim said his mind was racing. So we called Kenny, and Kenny got on a 3-way call with Steve, with Jim and him and Kenny. And he said, what you need to do is have Brenda put 1 on and Jim wear 2. So we did that the following night, and woke up the next morning and walked down the hall, and Jim asked how I was doing. And I said, well, I think I'm at a 3 on my pain level. I hadn't been below a 5, even on narcotics, ever been below a 5 in 40 years. So I was at a 3. And Jim goes, okay, let's try this again. The following day, I walked down the hallway and he asked how I was doing. And I said, I'm at a 0. I
0.
didn't know how to respond to that because I hadn't been at a 0 in a very long time. So we tried it again another night and woke up the next day. Jim asked me, how are you doing? I said, I'm still at a 0.
Yeah.
So we went up until 7 days trying this, and it was consistent 0 every day. So after that, that was all it took for us to understand and believe that this was working for us. And then we were excited after that point.
And we wanted to thank Jay.
Jay, yes, thank you for this technology, because I thought I was just going to have to live and suffer for the rest of my life in pain. And I finally got my miracle prayer answered. So thank you.
And when you guys told me that story last night, it literally brought tears to my eyes. And I'm just like, to be able to help people in that fashion, in a drug-free manner, it's like, come on, you guys. Somebody put a price tag on that. And the thing is, we're not asking anybody to spend any more money. Brenda and Jim, the money that you guys were spending on drugs to offset your pain, it's not even close to what you're going to pay here with these patches.
Yeah, no, exactly. And with the government, with their crackdown on the narcotics, I was forced into detox 2 years ago.
Oh.
My name was drawn, and I'll be 2 years in May. It'll be on my 2-year anniversary, and I was still in just as much pain until the patches.
You guys, thank you. Thank you for sharing that story. And you guys are sharing it with a lot of people right now. I know you're building a big organization of people, because how in the world can you not tell people that story, right?
Exactly.
You guys are the best. Thank you for sharing. Nicole, jump in here. Nicole Ashley, jump in here.
All right. Okay. Just for people who think, oh, this is just for people who have an issue, I just want you to know it's a super preventative, awesome for keeping your brain stronger and healthier. It's like a fountain of youth if it's going to continue. So it's great for everyone. But I just wanted to celebrate my story, being sick for over 25 years with an autoimmune illness, bedridden for a lot of days. So when people say, well, Nicole, if you would watch your, change your diet and exercise and do this and do that, you'll get better. But when you're bedridden and you have very little energy to even to go for a walk, this is the best tool in the toolbox to give you. When I was on Liberty, after 6 weeks, the brain fog I lived with for most of my life, feeling like you're hungover every day or like you've got the flu. Let's say that's what I lived like. My life was like I had the flu almost every day. Some days better than others. But, today's I'm excited because, I was up early in the morning, running my mother and father-in-law to appointments, running here, running there, walking here, running there, come home, exercise in the pool, do all that, and still have energy for the call and still have energy for the evening. I'll be 62 next month. And I feel like I'm a late bloomer. I'm finally going to live life the way God created me to live it. So I just want to say, hey, this is a great tool. If you need a little help to get the energy you need to do the things to get you moving. If you know of anybody who's having a hard time moving to get the results that they want, this is an amazing tool. Thank you.
62 years old. You are just getting started, young lady.
I'm just getting started. Yeah, next month. Yeah.
Shelly's on. Jump in here, darling. Jump in here, Shell.
Okay, well, I just raised my hand for Lori Bassman because she doesn't know how to do that on Zoom. And she's like killing it in this business right now. So, Lori, you want to let Lori talk?
Wait a
Yeah,
minute.
Lori, jump in here.
Okay, I'm going to try to make this quick, but I have to read some of it. Last week, I went to my niece's house to practice on her kids. And her son had knee surgery, and one of the complications or whatever afterwards is he developed tendonitis, and he's been going to a physical therapist, and I believe he's 18. And he couldn't squat down and get back up without like grabbing onto something to help him up. Mm-hmm. So my practice on him was the Liberty patch with the strength and stability, and his eyes got big and he was like, wow, and he could squat and get back up. So but he still had pain. So I guinea pigged him with a freedom patch. And I said, why don't you let this work for a little bit and see if it does anything for your pain? Well, he could only wait 5 minutes, and he squatted back down, got back up, and he had less pain. And then 30 minutes later, he came back and he said, I have no pain. Well, today I was down there because my niece is a nurse practitioner, and she was trying to wrap her head around this. Well, like if my son uses this pain patch, is he going to do too much and then hurt himself? So what she did was she contacted the physical therapist, and I'm just going to kind of read her text to me. It said, this is her comment to the physical therapist. Did my son tell you he squatted at a normal height, chair height, with very little pain for the first time in 10 weeks and was able to get up? This is the physical therapist's response. He showed me. It's similar basis to kinesio tape, which just lifts the skin, gently gives proprioceptive feedback. If that feedback from the texture is enough to confuse neural pathways and he feels better, so be it. It doesn't hurt him. Use it so long as he feels better. My niece is very, very excited, and her son is going to be coming into the business tonight or tomorrow. And he started writing down people's names and people that he wanted to share this with, fellow buddies that are in sports that want to improve their athletic performance. His sister is being recruited by colleges for volleyball, and I had her wear some at a meet last week, and her performance was better than it had been before, which is amazing. So I'm just excited about this. I just don't think that the physical therapist understands that it's not confusing the neural pathways. It's helping them communicate to make a situation better. So thank you. And now I'm going to mute myself.
I've got a coworker. He's 40 years old, and he's had nystagmus since he was born. And nystagmus is when the eyes go back and forth, and you look at him, he looks kind of wild-eyed. You know, when they do a drug test, you know, or a drunk test, they check your eyes like that, and they're looking to see if they bounce. Well, his bounced back and forth all the time. And so the other day I put a patch on him, and then I realized I should have demoed him first. So I took the patch off and demoed him, and he was blown away by it. So I put a patch on him, and less than an hour later, he messaged me and said the nystagmus had stopped. And I talked to him at the end of the day, and his field of vision was very limited, and now he's got more peripheral vision, and he's doing much better. And I think it was the next day, he didn't have a patch on. He was driving to work, and he was sitting at a stoplight, and his eyes were going crazy. And so he popped the patch on, and it instantly stopped.
I know.
And he's been dealing with this since birth.
And Randy, I'm telling you, that's why I said at the very beginning, you guys, this sounds unbelievable. It does sound unbelievable. And it sounds a little bit silly. It's like, oh, these guys are on this Zoom talking about these patches. They don't have anything else. Come on. It's like, you guys, it's a real deal. Because when we can offer people drug-free solutions for all of these things that we've been talking about, there's